right, I would like to go over our research essay work from week 10 through week 12, just to remind everybody where we are in this ongoing project and to make everything really, really clear. Now, I know there's been a lot of materials, so I'm going to make sure that you've walked through them. Our unit readings are from the chapter, and the chapter talks about how to use sources and how to write an argument essay. The argument essay topic and instructions are here. We are working on an essay on the death penalty or capital punishment. You have 2 handouts on how I expect students to use quotes and what your works cited lists should look like. You have a sample source paragraph which reiterates those source use skills. You have a tutorial on writing argument essays. And remember that even though this uses sources for its body paragraphs, this is still an argument essay that follows the same essay format as our other essays. You have a video tutorial, again from week 10, on how to find sources in the library database. And you have a video tutorial talking about how to use those sources once you've found them. It's also important to know how to avoid plagiarism, so that's just a brief tutorial there. You had a quiz in week 10, you had 2 quizzes in week 10, and an assignment which you got feedback on. If you struggled with source use, please make sure you've looked at that feedback before you finish your essay. And then there was a help session where we recorded that help session. On week 11, you had a little to-do list. You had a sample argument essay. So again, if you'd like to see what you're aiming for, go through that sample argument essay. You have some citation help talking about how to use the Purdue OWL citation guide. You have a handout on how to format your essay and a video tutorial going over the draft and then the draft assignment. Now, this is a smaller assignment than the one that's coming in this week. You'll get feedback on this midweek. Make sure you use that feedback before your final draft is due at the end of week 12. Here in week 12, we have a video lecture on revising and editing. Make sure that you're looking at that video and really following the steps for healthy revising and editing. You have a link to the Purdue OWL citation machine, and again, another tutorial on how to use that citation machine. You have a link to your Criterion software. I want to remind you that a Criterion use is required, and there are still students who are not using Criterion. Criterion is not your textbook. It's a software, and it's required. It is not a Cengage textbook. It is Criterion software, and you are required to use it. So students who have not used it will earn 1 out of 200 on their essays in Blackboard. Now, I don't mean that I require you to submit in Criterion. I expect you to use Criterion to edit. That means using multiple submissions to resolve errors in grammar, mechanics, and usage. Now, you do not need a score from Criterion, so please don't email me and tell me that it won't give you a score. You don't need a score. You need its help to help you find errors in grammar, mechanics, and usage. If you're not sure how to get to that feedback or how to get the program so that you have a split screen where you can see your errors on one side and fix them on the other, please watch this video on using Criterion effectively. It's been here 3 times now. It was here for your reflective essay and for your consciousness raising essay, and it's here again. But I still have students who are either not using Criterion at all or are simply submitting once to Criterion to get a score. If your essay is above 1,000 words, you will not get a score, but you don't need one. You need to resolve the errors that it finds for you in grammar, mechanics, and usage. So make sure you're using those. There is a discussion board to talk about how it's going. If you have particular issues that are coming up for you about the research essay, you can ask them here, and I'll check in with that discussion board on Friday and try to get you answers to your questions before the weekend. This is the space for the argument essay with research final draft, and we've been working on this one piece at a time since week 10. It's the same topic from week 10. Please don't do a whole new research paper on some other topic. And you should have your feedback again from the draft that you did in week 11. Use that feedback to improve and revise and re-edit that essay and turn it in for your final draft. Again, before you turn in your final draft, please make sure that you have used Criterion to edit. Right. That should get us through the week 12 work. If you have questions about that, please try to email me as early in the week as we can so we have as much time to problem solve with you as possible. I got a bunch of emails at 11 p.m. on Sunday night this week, and I felt really bad because I couldn't respond because I was already asleep and the deadline was within an hour. So those students did get help on Monday morning, but I would really like to be able to help you before the due date. So that lands on you to make sure that you have Criterion access and you know how to use it, and you've asked your questions and you understand your feedback. And if you don't see your feedback by the end of the day Wednesday, definitely reach out and let me know because you should be seeing your week 10 and 11 feedback before our draft is due this week. Definitely get in touch if you need help. This is a really hard assignment. It's worth twice as much as our other essays, and I'm really rooting for you to do well. Reach out early in the week in case we need to do some problem solving, and I'm here to help you problem solve. Once again, on Friday, I will be holding a Zoom session at 9 o'clock, and you can just use, it's down here, just use that Zoom hour link to come to that help session on Friday morning if you still need some help by then. You can reach out to me before Friday, though, if you have questions about what you're trying to work on this week. Good luck. Reach out if you need help.